What would you do if you were the pastor of a church, not a conventional church, but a church on which people lived on garbage? Stay tuned. Hello, my name is Father Mike Manning. I'm a Catholic priest. This is a program that calls you to the power of Jesus in your life, understanding that all the things that are going on are very secondary to the relationship that you need to have with God in your life. And I'm hoping that as I share with you and as I talk with some very exciting people, this is going to draw you into that life. One of the persons you're going to be hearing from today is a very dear friend of mine, a person that I was able to even spend some time in his parish. Father Ben Beltran is a Divine Word missionary, the same community that I am. And he has a vocation, a call from God that in many ways is like Mother Teresa. You remember Mother Teresa working in India and working with the poor and working with the forgotten, and we all kind of look at that and say, whoa, you know, how could we ever do that? Father Ben is the pastor of working with people that are completely forgotten, whose only way of support formerly was with garbage. And now he's been able to raise them up to a new dignity and a new hope. Father Ben, God bless you. Thank you so much for coming and being with us. I'm always interested in knowing what's going on with you and what's going on. Back in, oh gosh, it was in the early 2000s, we had a chance to come to Smokey Mountain with our television crew, and we'll show a little bit of though you'll get to be able to see some of that. 30,000 people living on and around a garbage dump and searching and finding little things that they could perhaps send, enticed into the big city from a village a province that had perhaps been rather comfortable, but oh, give me the new life and that. And now these people were alone, and you decided to give your whole life to caring for these forgotten and hurting people. What in heaven's name gets into a person like that? Why would you do something like that?
God gave me a knock in the head.
What way? Tell me.
I was sent to Rome to study. So it was La Dolce Vita. No, you visit the museums and the churches, you drink Chianti, and you become sort of an expert in white wine, you know?
Yes.
And then when I was about to finish, I was at the Piazza Risorgimento. Suddenly from out of the blue, as if I heard a voice in the middle of my skull saying, you became a priest to be an expert in white wine in Italy? My goodness, it was as if the whole heavens fell on me. So I visited the concentration camps just to get this depression and dark night.
In Italy?
No, I went to Germany. I asked permission
you went to
from
Germany.
our superior general, and I was also given permission to stay in an ashram in India, vegetarian diet, 1 full meal a day, meditating on the river for hours on end, chanting Om. I did not find the enlightenment that I was looking for. So when I got back to the Philippines, I went to the sisters of Mother Teresa and said, could you please show me where the poorest of the poor live? Said, come back tomorrow. The next day I came, there was a strong typhoon. One of the sisters even fell into the sewer.
Whoa.
And they brought me to this 20-hectare dump site that when the stench strikes your nose, it's like receiving a big blow from a heavyweight boxer in the pit of your stomach. I stayed there for 30 years. I do not want God to knock me in the head again.
So you're just doing that because you don't want to get hurt.
Yes. But I always told Cardinal Sin that I went there not to save the scavengers, but to let the scavengers save me.
Ooh, what do you mean by that? Tell me.
To let them remind what is really important in life. Because sometimes we have the illusions, that you confuse being with having. You think that if you have a sports car or a beachfront house,
Big
that
house.
you're a better human being, and then you're stricken with cancer, and then the dark night of the soul comes as if your life had no meaning at all. I don't want that to happen to me. And the garbage people, who are one of the happiest people in the world, reminds me that you were there, you saw them,
yes,
you know.
I know, it's
you
true.
aim a camera and they will be smiling there, you know. I wonder what these people believe in. And that's where I learned from them.
You found in the poorest of the poor the presence of God in your life.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit more about what they taught you. What did they teach you?
We have Bible sharing. Okay. So I think about all the theologians that I know about this verse.
Yes.
They do not mind me at all. They are not seeking for meaning or interpretation when they read the Bible text. They seek for God's presence and they find it. And they get lost in the presence of God, Mike, when they pray the rosary, for example. I had a lot of workshops about how to use Eastern methods of prayer. But those women, they get lost to themselves. When they make a procession with the risen Christ, which was our patron in the garbage dump, the scavenger said that their skull expands to encompass the whole cosmos. No professor at the university told me that.
Wow. What's tough about this? I mean, I'm looking at you and you're getting all excited about the goodness. There are some tough times that you must have experienced in being, what's really tough about doing your job of 30 years of working with God's forgotten people, it seems?
Yeah, the toughest is knowing that it can be solved. You know, with 1% of what is spent for war material by the developed nations in the world, we could educate all the primary school children in this world. And
You're saying, you just said something very interesting. You just said that if we took 1% of what we're trying to spend on our war world,
on bombs and
if we took 1% of that, we could change the world and bring about the justice and the peace.
Oh, no, at least we could educate. We could at least educate all the primary age school children in the world.
In the world?
In the world. You know, so you're in a garbage dump, you know, there's all this money going on, you know, for war and some for CEOs who do not care about the 1 billion people in the world earning $1 a day. That's very difficult to take.
Say that one more time.
Okay.
How many people are there in the world?
1 billion people in the world survive by $1 a day. That's United Nations figures.
Wow.
Okay, so there's this money being spent for cosmetics and for pets, and there are 30,000 children dying every day because of hunger and poverty-related diseases. That's very hard to take.
So what do you do? What do you do to try to shake the world and bring us to an awareness, aside from thank you coming and being on this television program? What are you doing to try to take the experience that you had in Smokey Mountain and now perhaps touch a broader perspective of the world?
Okay, Cardinal Rosales, the Archbishop of Manila, asked me how we can solve poverty.
Yes.
So the solution is a marketing strategy, linking all the basic ecclesial communities in the parishes in the Philippines through the internet and making them trade with each other. So the objective is to provide them with commodities that are 25% to 30% cheaper than what they get in the market. It is delivered to their door, and we assure that the quality is very good.
So what you're doing is you're opening up commercial worlds to be able to bring the basic needs that people have and make it possible to work away that deep poverty that we're living in our world. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, the first step, Mike, is increase their buying power. by a marketing strategy that leaves out the middleman.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay?
And the internet offers this possibility.
Yes, cell phones. You know how many cell phones there are in the Philippines?
No.
90 million people, 60 million cell phones.
Are there really?
Yeah, so the technology is there. So you just give them a dream. The only way out of poverty is for the poor to take part in the economic activity.
And the internet is a possibility of doing that.
We are already doing it.
Tell me a little bit more of how are you organizing this? What's this thing? You have an organization called
the Veritas E-Trading Network.
Veritas is a Latin word for truth.
Truth, yeah.
Tell me a little bit more. What you're saying is you're saying that you can change the world, and I'm saying, oh, come on. We've been going downhill for so many years.
The poor will change
it is
the world.
impossible. It is impossible to do this. Can you really make a change?
If we give opportunities to the 1 billion people earning $1 a day to increase their income, they will save themselves. Not somebody from outside, from the IMF or World Bank or other aid agencies. They have to save themselves. We provide opportunities like for the farmers, drip irrigation that's cheap. They will increase their productivity, then they will educate their children and buy enough food for the whole family.
Now, we're going to come back in just a second. I want you to stay tuned. I want you to listen to this. And then I want to really challenge him. He's given me some hope, and he's given me some real fancy words. But let's see if this can really touch you and me with the reality of changing the world and overcoming the problem of poverty. Stay tuned, please. I want you to be part of the mighty 800 people who each month are pledging to give a donation to allow this ministry to continue. It doesn't seem so much when you figure that there's over hundreds of thousands of people who see the program. If we could get 800 people each month giving a donation, we'd be able to continue this ministry. Please, I need your help. And I know that this is a difficult time. I know that the finances of the world are really struggling. And what right do I have to ask you to do this? The right I have is my deep belief that we are going to get into the lives of people with a message more powerful than what commercial television is saying, a message that will give hope and love. Your contribution will allow us to remain on the air. And what you'll be doing is saying, Father Mike, I believe in those interviews that you're giving, telling the story of people's lives being transformed and changed. I believe in your message as you share the good news of the Bible with us. Your contribution will enable you to be part of the wall of recognition. And then you're going to be part, in a beautiful, visible way, of the mission that we have in this ministry. Also, we're going to include your name on our webpage. This is going to be a beautiful sign to you and to others that you're part of a vital, vital part of this ministry, the Mighty 800. Please, don't wait. Make your pledge today. Pick up the phone. Catch the address right here on the screen. Write us a letter. Get in touch. Allow this ministry to continue. Allow the grace of God to get into the lives, especially of those who don't go to church. Let television be a real power. Father Ben, you're offering us a vision that is very big. You're offering us a vision of being able to turn the world around, of all the poverty that we see on CNN and on all the stories, that to say there's a hope, there's a vision. And you have a three-step practical way of doing it. One is this Veritas or Truth organization. Again, give us just a brief synopsis of the direction of Veritas.
Okay, what gives me hope, Mike, is that in the slum areas, all over the world, there's a lot of entrepreneurial activity going on. Only they do not earn much because the marketing strategy is wrong, you know. So they earn only $1 a day, $2 a day, because they are not networked. and they lack the information, they lack access to capital. If we could give that to them, they will save themselves.
So give them the tools,
Yeah,
and they can open the doors.
But as missionaries, we also say that they have to have the correct values.
Yes.
And that's why with Veritas, the values are integrity, ethical business practices. I hope Wall Street hears this. Second would be solidarity, that we are all brothers and sisters in one planet, that we have to live together as brothers and sisters, or we will perish together as fools because our planet is in peril. And the third would be creativity, to adapt to situations and think that history is moving forward.
Wow. You're also concerned about another thing, and that's this. Here in our own country, we're concerned about going green. We're concerned about the dependence on foreign oil, and that sometimes can lead us to war and can cause all kind of divisions. Tell us a little bit about what you're trying to do to perhaps be part of this ecological change that we're challenged with.
We're starting a greenhouse, Mike. We're even partnering with the University of Arizona, possibly, for hydroponics. Organic farming. We do not use fertilizer so that we will not have cancer and it will be very expensive. And I'm working with Father Pio Eugenio SVD. He's organizing the farmers, I'm organizing the market.
In the Philippines?
In the Philippines, yeah.
So you got the farmers and you're offering that marketing chance of doing things.
Yes, and we're trying to produce biodiesel from Jatropha and other and used oil, you know.
One of the things that I was fascinated with when we came to Smokey Mountain, and it's this ugly mountain of garbage on which people were living and going and hooking. It was filled with the plastic sacks.
Yes.
And I can remember, I don't know, I'm interested in knowing what you've been able to do, but trying to see what you could do to extract those plastic bags and somehow put them into coming up with chairs or
yes, we have
things in the freeway and using the garbage that seems to be thrown off in an effective way for the people.
Yes, the used newspapers we make into purses.
I know, the purses are great.
And we just sent 1,000 of those to San Francisco a few months ago.
Did you? Yes.
All sold.
We were selling them through the television show.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we now have a materials recovery facility, an MRF. So we get plastics and other discards and other residual waste from the factories. We process them. We're even waiting for a shredder. Then we sell that to recyclers instead of throwing it in the dump.
Wow.
And then the third, Mike, is that we are building the first environmental church in the world.
Hello?
With solar panels in Smokey Mountain, in the former garbage dump.
The first solar-powered church.
Yes, and it will be wired too. It will be wireless internet for about half a kilometer.
Wow.
But apropos your question, the important thing is that the paving blocks, the hollow blocks, and other construction materials are made from residual waste that have been ground, mixed with cement, and now it's continuing to go up.
And the people are working to make these bricks, and they're part of the construction.
Yes.
So they're building their own church out of the garbage that they used to live on.
Yes.
Wow.
So we're also reforesting 135 hectare area. The people of Smokey Mountain go there, plant trees, and we are partnering with people in St. Paul's Church in Chino Hills, with the Laverne Presbyterian Church. They give the young people there $10, and a tree will be planted. Father Mike Manning. So if
I give you $10, you can get
yeah. That's what we are trying to do.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So people who have been scavengers, discriminated against by a lot of people, they are the ones at the forefront of fighting global warming, because very few people want to face it because it is an inconvenient truth.
Yes. Tell me a little bit about, a little bit further about, we talked about the internet and the power of the internet in your church, but you have a plan also to see if the internet can be something that will open the door for education on a broader level for those that can't get to school.
Yes, that's our e-learning program. E is for electronic. And last week I was at Escondido. The Lions there are sending me 300 used computers. So we deploy this in the churches and indigenous tribes and slum areas. Then we produce interactive CDs in English, science, and mathematics. So the kids go through those. When they feel they're ready, they take the examinations of the government, then they finish high school, like a GED program.
Like a GED program, and you're offering that to them. So you've got Veritas, you've got this real strong use of the, let's make this a real green experience.
Yes, yeah.
And thirdly, you're offering a beautiful chance for
the 7 million.
Getting into school and getting an education through the use of mass media and through the internet.
There's 12 to 24-year-old. There are 7 million of them that have not finished high school.
Oh, wow.
And I think this is their only chance. And since many of them are computer literate anyway, they might be poor, but they are in Friendster, they are in Facebook, they are in MySpace.
Really?
So it's a different experience for these guys. You let them study computers, tutored by specially trained teachers, then they pass the exams.
One of the things that I admired when I came to Smokey Mountain was the way that you've tapped the other people of Manila to be able to volunteer and come and give a great amount of time. And this is the other side of the question that we're doing. We're sitting and admiring, the force of 30 years of living on garbage and living with people that are tough and doing that and finding a blessing in that. But the struggle comes again. What can we do? What can I do here that could really be effective to trying to open up? You're on the forefront. You're doing all kind of things. What can I do back here in the States?
First is pray. That's why we're establishing. We have these women of the Veritas A Trading Network. There's communities. They select a woman. It's called. They are called order taker and delivery officers. They have cell phones. They go every day from house to house. 2 kilos of rice, 2 kilos of chicken. Then that's sent through satellite to our server. Then we buy in bulk. That's why we could give cheaper goods to the poor.
So pray.
So I would like women here, Mike, and I'm talking to women in St. Paul's Church in Chino Hills and Laverne Presbyterian Church and Cross Point, and I'll be going to San Marino tomorrow. I would like a woman here to partner with this woman with the cell phones. They pray for each other every day, exchange news, because they can do it through email. We give them training in basic computer literacy.
And this brings in this whole dimension of Jesus to this whole thing. If we can conclude this whole deal, you're a man of God. You're dedicated to Jesus in a very strong way, and there could be no physical satisfaction that you'd get by giving 30 years of your life in the smell and the neglect and the pain of not being able to bring about change, if it weren't for that love of Jesus that you have. And I thank you for that. And I think that you've touched us all as we've listened to you, that we need to be more committed to Christ, and in that commitment, there could be even some miracles that we might be able to do here in the States.
I'll go to another garbage dump tomorrow, Mike, as long as God does not give me a knock in the head again.
Amen. We're coming right back. I want you to listen to this message, and then I want to come and I want to pray for some people that have been communicating with us through the miracle of this television program to experience how God can bless them. Please stay tuned. We need your help to be able to share the good news of Christ as we're doing on this program. We need 800 people who are willing to give once a month to share in the blessings of bringing the gospel message around the world. Would you please be a member of the mighty 800? If we had 800 every month giving money, we'd be able to do it. And if you will, if you're willing to make that sacrifice in this really tough time financially in our world, and I know that it's going to take a great deal of faith because you've got all kinds of needs shouting at you, but if you will, I want to put your name right on our wall of recognition to say to those that are visiting us here at the Wordnet Center, look it, there's someone that really believes in the gospel message and is willing to make a pledge once a month. Please join us, the Mighty 800. Father Ben, you've become involved, and you're here in Southern California because you're involved with an organization that has accepted and is encouraging this Veritas movement. It's called the Drucker Foundation. Am I correct in that?
The Peter F. Drucker School of Management, Graduate School of Management in Claremont.
In Claremont, and they've kind of adopted you as perhaps a professor to open up the doors of what you've experienced and seeing if you can help them to do what they're doing. Is that right? Or
No, they invited me as leader in residence to mentor students about the Veritas business model, because they're into the common good, they're into integrity, and they organized 3 groups of students to look at our business model. And last Monday, the dean moderated the presentation of the results of their study of Veritas.
How did it go?
It was very good. There were about 50 potential investors there. And the dean said, we just have to attain our objectives. You know, we have to have a track record, prove by measurable standards that we are helping the poor, and then that this is scalable, and then they will help us make project proposals together with the World Vision, so that the whole nation can be organized. Women with cell phones, you know, thousands of these women, and then producing their own detergent and a lot of these things, praying with other people from Chino Hills and all that. So it will be an integrated approach. The integral spirituality, Mike, that's what...
Well, one of the hearts of what we're doing with our ministry is based on prayer also. And what we do is we're asking people to come to our webpage and to write an email to us, to get on the phone, to write a letter, and to let us know what their needs are. And so this is our way of connecting, if you will. We even would use the cell phone to try to do that. Would you put your hands here with me? Lord, we ask you, please, especially in the presence of this man of willingness to follow your will and your direction, that you move your grace in a mighty way with everyone here that's praying and asking for help. Lord, you're a God that works miracles. Father Ben is filled with the dreams of miracles. Help this to happen with all those who have requested them for us. May Jesus' love for you always make you smile. God bless you. Thank you so very much. Guy, we could keep going on and on and on and on. But,